Number 4, 5 realistic trade wishes from each of us. You guys do your homework.
Not really, no.
Okay. So I'm going to give you 5 guys.
Okay.
Maybe 5. I'm going to give you some names right now. I'd like to see the Bruins potentially try to get.
I looked and then I got sidetracked and I go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay. First guy was the guy I mentioned in the podcast post game, and that's Alex Tuck of the Buffalo Sabres. BC guy, really good forward, underrated player, was with the Knights, now with the Sabres. I think he'd be a really good fit with Boston. Now, as you mentioned,
yes.
What could they give to get him?
Nothing.
No idea. Nothing. But I do like Alex Tuck.
I like Alex Tuck a lot too.
Yeah. Second guy I had was Travis Konechny. Like, he puts up a lot of points on a Flyers team that's better than they were, but they might be looking, if they start to fade away in the playoffs here, playoff structure, maybe you can throw something at a Travis Konechny, who is a point getter. He's a guy who picks up a lot of points, scores goals.
He's a good player, and he plays hard all the time.
Plays hard. Yeah, and that's a culture changer kind of guy, I think.
Yeah.
He would be more of a guy who compete level would be, at the utmost.
Yeah, that's another guy, though.
Yeah, I don't know what you have.
You're talking with Konechny, you're talking about at least probably a first-round pick, and
Yeah. Do you do that? That's the other thing. Do you do that for Travis Konechny?
I probably not, just because I don't think they're one guy away. That's right. The problem I have with like going out and getting, one guy. It's not enough, and I think I personally would rather go into free agency and see if you could convince some guys to come as like a package deal. Like I like go out and try to get like 2 or 3 guys and convince them all to come at the same time. Kind of like Chara and Savard. Like let's really change this thing up and see if you can convince some guys to do it. Because you can't afford to give assets away. It's like the same thing with the Patriots right now. People are talking about trading for AJ Brown or trading for Tyreek Hill or trading for this guy or that guy. And it's like, don't trade away assets for a wide receiver. Just sign a wide receiver in free agency. You have $1 billion, and then use your picks to sign more. You need more than one wide receiver. You need a bunch of guys. So it's the same with the Bruins. You need a bunch of guys. You don't need one guy. So if you're talking about trading for a guy who you're going to have to give up a first and whatever, I don't think that's a good idea. If you can get away with trading for a guy and giving up Charlie Coyle and Trent Frederic, then fine. But I don't want to see them giving up assets for guys who may move the needle a little bit, but probably not enough.
No. How about a Ricard Raquel if he was available?
Yeah, I would be interested in that. He's probably more of in their neighborhood, which is probably like a second or a third. That's probably more guys that I was looking at. I can't remember actually.
And then Brian Rust is another guy with the Penguins who has 19 goals. He's 32. But if you're looking for just a guy maybe for this run right here who's not going to maybe cost a lot of assets, maybe you look at him. And then there's what about bringing your buddy Bert back, Tyler Bertuzzi?
Bert's?
He's making 5.5 4 years, so he'll have 3 more years of 5.5.
I would consider Bert because I think he is an underrated passer. I think he had a little chemistry with Pasternak. So yeah, I would be interested in that. 5.5 is a little rich for my blood still with him. Because he's never really put up a ton of points. So I would probably want Chicago to take some of that salary. But that probably means you have to give up a little bit more. So I don't know how that all fits together. I'm of the opinion right now that they shouldn't be giving things away. They should be trying to give guys away themselves.
Right.
To get other assets back.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want them wasting cap space on fringy guys. I would rather them shoot for a bigger game than that.
Yeah, I mean I guess that's true. I like Bert for the same reasons you did. He's kind of a defensive liability, which is kind of a problem. But if I could get rid of Coyle, I would consider that even more.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely. Absolutely.
I would consider that even more.
A guy that I thought of was Yanni Gourde with
Yanni Gourde,
with Seattle, because I think he's kind of a gritty, in your face type of guy. I think if they were looking for, I don't know what his contract status is, but he's a guy with some Stanley Cup experience that I think would go over well in the room. I think it would help the room. He's a pain in the ass to play against.
Yes.
You know, he's not a huge point producer, but I think he's a guy that could help kind of reshape the culture of the team.
Yep.
So
he was excellent with the Lightning.
Yeah.
In that bottom six they had.
Yeah. So and he's fast. He's a pest kind of. So that's the type of guy that I wouldn't mind adding, and I think he would be kind of, you know, you wouldn't have to give up a lot to bring a guy like that in.
Yeah. And what about a guy that's probably going to resurface, Tyler Toffoli?
Tyler Toffoli, I'd be interested in because he can score goals. So, again, I don't know what the cost is. Like, it seems like around the trade deadline, the costs go up, obviously. You know, could you get Toffoli for a second? I'm not sure. Probably, I would guess, but
yeah, I think you probably could at 32 years old. I think you could.
Or maybe it's 2 seconds. I don't know. But I would consider that. Like, I feel like that he would be a value add. Like, he would help you more than 2 second-round picks would help you.
He would,
if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Especially with the way these people have drafted. Now, if you bring in a new front office and you can convince me that they can draft well, you know, maybe I'm not giving up 2 seconds. But
that's true.
You know, under the current regime, I think he would be a good addition.
And he's got 3 years left at 6 apiece. But he scores goals though. I mean, that's you pay for goal scores.
Yeah, you do.
You know. Do you have anybody else?
There was somebody else, but here we go. Mason McTavish from Anaheim. An interesting one to me. He was a guy that I saw that, and he's having a pretty good year, so I don't know why Anaheim would deal him, but he's a young center. He's 6'1". He's only 21 years old. He has 12 goals and 14 assists, 26 points on a bad team.
Wow. Yeah.
So he would be a guy I would be interested in. I don't know why he would fall out of favor, but ESPN has him as a potential.
Really?
Yeah. As a guy who could potentially get traded. So that would certainly be a guy that I would be looking at. And maybe that's one of those guys where you could trade them a veteran and a pick or something like that. They need some veterans on that Anaheim team. You need some young centers. Maybe he's fallen out of favor. I don't know what the situation is with him, but that would be a guy that I would definitely be interested in because he was a high first round pick. He's a center. So, you know, if he's fallen out of favor, maybe that's the type of guy Mark is talking about where, you know, he's maybe on the outs. I mean, like I said, I don't know what his situation is there, but hypothetically, if he's on the outs there, that would be a guy that I would certainly want to, you know, kick the tires on.
Yeah. I mean, we see with Patrick Laine that sometimes you find your place, and he battled depression issues and so forth, and then almost quit hockey, thought about it. And now he's playing great with the Canadiens. He's super talented. So maybe, you know, I'm not saying McTavish is in the same boat, but maybe a player like him comes to Boston and, you know, a culture and an organization that wants to win anyway.
Another guy from out west, Mikael Granlund with the San Jose Sharks, is a center too, who's put up some points, and you know he's a little bit more of a veteran guy. But you know, a playmaker. He's a guy I would be interested in as well. You know, realistically, I think, you know, San Jose obviously is years away, so they'd be looking for something young in return. I don't know if that's, you know, prospects like Lysell possibly, or you know, I don't think I would trade Patra in a trade for him, but
no, but maybe Lysell
or possibly a Merkulov or somebody like that, where you give them something that they can build with for the future, and you know, you get a center who's, you know, a playmaker and can put up some points.
Yeah,